Welcome, everyone, to Myths Uncovered, a brand new show from Timeless Sparks.
Yeah.
So, we're diving deep into all those myths we've heard growing up. The ones that make you pause for a second.
Like, is there something to this?
Exactly.
I know I've done that.
And for our very first deep dive, we're going to tackle one that's surprisingly common.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Black cats crossing your path. Bad luck.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one a lot.
Right.
Do you believe it?
Sometimes even if we don't admit it, we find ourselves maybe doing a little mental tap dancing for good luck if a black cat scurries by.
It's amazing how these superstitions just stick around.
They do?
And what's even more interesting is that, while black cats haven't always had this bad rap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their story is full of twists and turns.
Okay, so spill the beans. When were black cats considered lucky?
Okay, so imagine we're hopping into a time machine,
Okay.
and we're going way back to ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
Yeah, and you would find that black cats were actually revered.
Revered.
Oh, yeah, they were seen as symbols of protection,
Uh-huh.
good fortune.
Wow.
They were closely linked to the goddess Bastet.
Oh, interesting.
People welcomed them into their homes because they believed, get this, they brought good luck.
So it was like the complete opposite of what we think about today.
Exactly.
That's a huge difference. What happened?
Well, things took a bit of a dark turn during the medieval period in Europe. This is where the whole black cat and witches thing kind of took hold.
Oh, boy.
It's the Middle Ages, superstitions rampant, and people start to believe that witches can shapeshift into black cats.
Oh.
And these cats are their familiars, like little helpers, helping them cast spells.
So they went from being these, sacred symbols to something that people feared and
A
demonized.
complete 180, yeah.
Wow.
And sadly, this had some very real and devastating consequences.
Oh, no.
This association with witchcraft led to mass killings of black cats.
Oh.
And tragically, even their owners, especially during the witch hunt.
It just shows how fear and misinformation can have such terrible consequences. But knowing all this, why do people still believe this myth?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, there's a few psychological factors at play here. One of the big ones is confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. Okay.
Yeah, so think about it. If something bad happens after you see a black cat, you might be more inclined to blame the cat, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's because of that cat.
Exactly. You're more likely to, latch onto that and solidify your belief in that superstition. Even though, let's be real, bad things just happen, cat or no cat.
Right. Bad luck happens regardless.
It does.
It's like we cherry pick the events that fit our beliefs.
Right.
And I also think it's interesting, black cats do kind of have this air of mystery about them, don't you think?
Absolutely. And that ties into our fear of the unknown, right?
Right.
We as humans, we tend to be a little bit wary of what we don't understand. And black cats, with their sleek black fur, often kind of solitary. They can seem enigmatic, a little spooky to some people.
Yeah, they're just mysterious creatures. And we also can't forget the power of pop culture, like movies, TV shows, even children's stories. They constantly portray black cats as symbols of bad luck. So it's like this myth is just constantly being reinforced whether we realize it or not.
That's cultural reinforcement, and it's incredibly powerful in shaping our beliefs.
Yeah.
Even if those beliefs, well, let's just say, aren't exactly based in reality.
Okay, so what's the bottom line for our listeners here? Like a black cat crossing your path, it's just a cat on a mission.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just going about its day doesn't have any power to influence your luck, good or bad.
Not at all.
None whatsoever. But here's something to think about. While some superstitions can be harmless, it's important to be mindful of how they might be influencing your actions. Like, if you find yourself changing your plans, making decisions based on something like a black cat sighting, maybe it's time to examine those beliefs a little more closely. I love that. So as we wrap up our first deep dive here on Myths Uncovered, I want everyone listening to think about other beliefs that you hold, whether they're related to luck, fate, whatever.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, are they empowering you? Or could they be holding you back in some way? Thanks for joining us on this first